Choose life and style. Choose Edinburgh, Glasgow, or even Dundee. Choose YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and hope that someone, somewhere cares. Choose Princess Street, George Street, or even Rose Street. Choose Gavin and Shaun. Choose life and style.
Gavin, I'm a bit knackered after that running.
Yeah, me too. But we're here on time. That, when you pushed that granny over, it was a bit too far.
The illusion doesn't really work when we've got different shoes and jeans.
Yeah, different pair of jeans. So by show of hands here, who watches videos online on YouTube or Facebook and porn? No.
75% of school kids want to be YouTubers. It's very, very popular right now, but actually making that step into actually doing it, we are here to kind of talk about the reasons why people don't actually make that step and hopefully break that down for you.
There was one thing holding me back, and that was I was so scared. I was absolutely shitting myself about getting myself in front of camera and then put myself out there in the world.
And that's the number one reason why most people don't actually vlog, is because they are scared, they are afraid to make that step.
If you go on your favourite YouTubers' videos and their channels and filter back to the first video, they suck.
They're all terrible.
Yeah.
And actually it's become a thing on YouTube where big YouTubers will look back at their first videos and say, look how terrible they were. It's really, it's interesting. I started vlogging because I was travelling around the world and I wanted to make videos that my family and friends back home could see and see what I was up to. I thought it was an ideal platform for that. And then when more people started commenting, coming onto my videos, and I thought, this is actually pretty cool, I can build a little bit of a community here. Lots of people are watching and getting in touch, and I loved it. But at the same time, it goes back to that point of fear. I was terrified as well. It's a fact that everybody feels it. The big YouTubers, the most famous people online, they all feel it. It's just a fact of the matter that it will happen to everybody who does it. And I feel like even now, we made that video along Princess Street and it was really nerve-wracking. We were like, feeling like idiots. Like people were watching us running along and it was just really odd. And that just does not go away.
Yeah, and you have to, like, you look at us now and well, here's what I think about YouTubers, is they look really confident on camera, but there's actually like a big thing of like social anxiety amongst YouTubers, where they're actually really shy in person and actually suffer from like social anxiety in a lot of cases.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they find that when they're sat in their bedroom, for example, speaking to the camera, that's their kind of place of comfort where they can just sit and speak to the camera.
So I think that's the number one reason people do not make videos, is because of that. The second reason, and actually this is the comment that we probably receive most on our channels, is equipment. Yeah. People always say, what camera do you use to make your videos? And it's actually the most irrelevant point. People use that as some kind of barrier, reason as to why they don't make video, they don't have a good camera. We use DSLRs, big cameras right now, we use small vlogging cameras like this one, which looks totally bizarre when it's out like that and I'm speaking to myself. I actually got that taken off me by a security guard in a club or something once, and he said it would look like a sex toy.
I don't know what he gets that.
Yeah. But as I say, we use various different bits of equipment and it doesn't really matter. Actually, this is what matters now. Most people have got a phone in their pocket here, everybody's got smartphones. If you've got this, you've got all the tools you need to start making video online. You don't need anything else.
Yeah, you can reach millions of people now from your pocket. I mean, I've only been vlogging properly for 6 months or so. Shaun, you've been longer. But some of the opportunities that have come as a direct result of the videos has been awesome. So this is one where I got flown out to Austin, Texas earlier this year to hang out at Facebook. It's my mentor, Dennis, on the left. He basically flew me out to the States because we were friends on Facebook. He liked my videos, liked what I was doing, and wanted me to go and speak about video at one of his workshops.
So this was a trip that I did with the US Embassy recently, the US Embassy in London, and they took a bunch of bloggers and vloggers as well out to America to explore American values, and it was such an amazing, life-changing experience. We went to so many cool places around America, and it was truly sensational. You might actually see another person in the crowd here, Mr. John Latin, who was also there with me. That was such an amazing experience, and I will never forget it. And it all come through vlogging. If I wasn't vlogging, I wouldn't have had that opportunity.
I think you're being a bit humble. Shaun got flown to the States by the US Embassy because the US Embassy watched his vlogs. What?
It was incredible. Absolutely amazing experience.
Ridiculous. Me and Shaun were on TV last
week. On TV? Shout out to any of the STV people in here.
A new experience for both of us. We were here speaking about vlogging, speaking about this event. Just another thing that would not have happened if we didn't get on video.
And a couple of weeks ago we actually shot, produced, edited and starred in an advert that appeared on a massive screen in St Andrew Square before Star Wars. This is incredible. Like, how did that happen to us?
Pretty cool, pretty cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, thousands of people watched that over the weekend, again, as a direct result of our videos.
It's been incredible. And tell you what, I worked for 10 years in a job that I absolutely hated. I worked in marketing for a bank. It sucked, right? And I have now got the opportunity to do something that I love. And I really love it. And it's amazing. So, if you haven't thought about vlogging, like, this is just some of the things you can get involved in. I mean, it's so powerful, and it doesn't matter what you are, who you are, what your niche is. You might be a florist out there. You might be a florist. You could become Mr. or Mrs. Florist of Edinburgh, of Scotland, or of the UK. You could be that person through video content. That's how powerful this is. It's game changing. If you want to be the top in your industry, whatever it is, or whatever you're passionate about, this is how you'll do it. Video content.
100%. So at least for you, just remember, me and Shaun were both so scared when we started. And
Still are sometimes.
yeah, like walking down Princess Street recording ourselves earlier was scary. But I know that I certainly don't regret the fact that I started uploading videos on YouTube. Thank you very much for listening. We'll answer any questions, watch any videos, do anything you like.
So if anybody's got any questions, we're here to answer them. We'll also be hanging around for a few hours after as well.
Can I ask just how many followers you have, or that you have to have before you sort of get to the point where you're being offered opportunities?
I think that depends on what exactly you do. Like, there could be people who maybe own a small business, a shop or something, and a couple of thousand followers already puts them out there into their world. For me, it's quite an irrelevant point. Like, it depends who you are, what you do. I think a lot of people actually do put emphasis on numbers, and I think it's wrong.
Yeah, engagement.
Yeah.
Engagement
Engagement's really
is
important.
the number one thing.
A lot of the really successful vloggers are quite young, and as I understand it, it's a lot of young people watch vloggers. Like, I watch a lot of YouTube, but I don't watch a lot of vloggers, which is the daily diary type thing. Do you think that it will remain a young person's thing, or do you think it will ripple out to older people being engaged with vlogging?
Absolutely not. I think it's already changed. I think YouTube, as an individual platform, has already morphed into being the next television. And I think there are a lot of other vloggers, like we watch Casey Neistat, he's 35.
Yeah.
We watch,
35?
yeah, something like that. We watch Gary Vee, and he's like over, what I don't know, what it is, 40s. Like, and there's lots of people in that. You know, I think that's also relevant. Yes, there's a big bulk of people who are younger. I think if I look at my stats, my average viewer age is around 30. So I think yes, the platforms do change, and the fact that it was younger people, but it's for everyone now.
It's like the same with everything. As the young people start, then the marketers come on and ruin it, and then the mass market come. And we're at that point where marketers are starting to it's like the older kind of marketing guys are starting to get into train, and then it's going to continue to go. Yeah.
One of the things that's stopping us from starting is because we're scared that we're going to do something good for like 2-3 vlogs and then run out of content. We just don't know how to keep the consistency.
So what is this for a business point of view or personal?
No, for us, to start a vlog.
Yeah.
But we just care, we're just going to run out of content and then be like, okay, what now?
So that's the tricky bit, is you have to get creative from it. So if it's a business point of view, I always say, what questions do you get asked the most often? Or if it's from a personal point of view, just record your life. When
you start vlogging, it actually forces you out of the house to go and look at details. You start paying attention to all these details around you, and you find all these stories that just come from nowhere.
Yeah.
And once you actually start vlogging, that really happens. It starts to work in your head. I was a journalist before, so I kind of had that instinct already. But it definitely forces you to go out there and look for things that you wouldn't have perhaps looked for before. So, but that is actually one of the things. If you want to take YouTube in particular seriously, you have to keep going. It's a really good question because it is important. But actually, I think if you've ever been online before, you tell stories all the time, and you can just expand that into video.
Yes.
Just because you're in a crowded market, if you're doing something, if people like you and what you're doing, then that's how you'll build up a following.
If you're approached by a brand,
Yep.
what would you expect to give that brand in coverage for, say, if they were going to give you a product, what would you give them back?
If they're just going to give you a product?
If they were going to give you a product, or they were going to give you, what sort of comeback would they have? How many times would you blog about it? Would you...
If they just give you a product, absolutely nothing. You have to use your discretion. If you really like the product and you want to talk about it, you think your followers will have value in it, absolutely talk about it. I do that all the time. If you think it's something you don't like and it's just a free product, you wouldn't have any contract for that. As I say, I used to be a journalist, and journalists get invited every single day to various different places under no obligation to cover them. It's just an experience, and if you like it, you want to talk about it, great. but there should never be a force that that person should write good things or say good things about it. From a brand perspective, it's definitely worth building up relationships with people first.
Right. In Scotland, I think we have a big issue with young people not feeling good enough. They feel trapped, they deal a lot with mental health, the sort of issues around poverty and stuff. And with a big platform, for me, comes the opportunity to have a big purpose. Do you think vloggers and online people have cracked the nut around not just making a quick buck or promoting a brand or pushing business development, but the chance to help people change their own lives? Because young people aren't watching TV, they don't listen to parents or teachers or whatever. They watch people like you guys. How important is that? Is that something that the sector is getting their head around more, around how you can change people's lives?
Absolutely, I think it's really, really important, and I think it comes to the individual blogger or vlogger. If they're passionate about something, whether that's mental health or anything else, if they want to talk about that, those people generally have really big followings and are very influential in their communities, and because they're not afraid to stand up and talk about it. It's quite heavy to put something really personal about yourself online, but it's definitely something I would like to do, and I think that is definitely a really great opportunity for people to stand up and talk about something they believe in, and if that helps. I mean, my goal on YouTube, particularly my videos, if I can make one person inspired, like whatever it may be, that makes my day. That just makes it everything worthwhile. So, and if that's something really about a really serious topic like mental health, then that's all the better. So I totally agree. That is the place where we need to find the next leaders in various different personal topics.
You could like Casey Neistat, who millions of followers, like he can say to do anything he wants, and hundreds of people or thousands of people, millions of people will do it, whatever he says, because he has that influence. And you see, he's raised money for charity and things, and some amazing things. So I think it's like you have to be careful with the influence that you do start to build on people, for sure. That's the same. You inspire people. Like if my videos make someone smile, then that's all I want to do.
I use Instagram stories a lot because I don't have to edit them, and I just bash them out all the time. People really love them, and I know people use Snapchat as well. Whereas I find my YouTube channel just like really heavy because it's. I actually get someone else to edit it because I'm not very technical. So I'm just wondering, from your point of view, where do you see YouTube and things like Snapchat and Instagram stories either working against one another or with one another, or doing different content on different platforms?
That's a really great question, actually. I'm really glad you asked it, because we were going to talk about that. I believe that it's good to diversify your content across different platforms and make sure they're all doing well. But you don't need to be in them all. If you don't want to do YouTube because it is heavy and it's quite difficult to edit sometimes, and you want it to be an Instagrammer, that's absolutely fine. If you want to build an Instagram following, like there's lots of people that just do Instagram, and I think it's fine. I think it's smart to have 2 or 3 platforms that people know you on: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Gavin does a lot on Facebook.
Did you do a lot of video on Facebook?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, Facebook's by far where I've got my bigger following, reach, and views.
I think Facebook versus YouTube is going to be a thing, like in the next coming years. So my strategy is actually to diversify so that my Facebook becomes as good as my YouTube. We saw with Vine, there's a lot of people, by the way, who are on Vine who didn't do anything else and they lost everything. The smart ones, they actually built up other platforms on the back of it, and they're doing great things now. So I think it's very important to diversify, but at the same time, if you don't think YouTube is for you, don't do it. It's fine to be an Instagram or a Snapchat or Twitter or whatever.
How did you polish your theme and brand? Instead of being all over the place, how do you kind of like build up to one?
And I think even for us, it's something that's a constant evolution.
Yeah.
You know roughly what you want to be, who you are. That's in your DNA. But your brand is something that you will build on. You might have other ideas. You might decide to totally change it. It's just something you keep working on.
Totally. And I'm a massive advocate of going personal brand and being you, because then you want to talk about makeup, you talk about makeup. You want to talk about pets, it's still just you. And people understand that you're going to change over time.
I think at the end of the day, people connect with people. If they can see the whites of your eyes, they know it's a person there, rather than brands. Brands are really difficult to kind of connect on a human level, but people will connect with people. So it's really important to sell yourself as a personal brand.
The seed of confidence, something that John picked up on for young people. What was it that you woke up one morning or you went to bed one night and you thought, you know what, I've got the guts to do this. I'm just going to go through it, just put almost your dignity on the line.
Yeah.
What is that in kind of a really short statement that we can then send to young people to say you can do it too?
I think that's a really important point. I've talked about this a lot recently with John and others about there being a very clear lack of people that inspire others in Scotland who are not footballers or who are big actors. I don't know, for me, I was always, even when I was like 16, I was always trying to hustle the next thing. And it just kind of evolved into YouTube eventually. But yeah, you're right, I think I don't know the answer, but I know there needs to be more people who can influence and inspire young people to actually do something.
Was there a moment for you though? Someone said something teacher, a mate, parent?
I absolutely hated school and left when I was 16, and I decided to go and work rather than go to uni. But everybody's different, and I thought, when I was 16, I decided, you know, either I can just sit on the sofa now and become a bum, or I'll go for it, and I just decided to go for it. And everybody's different. I don't know the exact answer, but I think you're right. There is a problem in Scotland of young people having a lack of inspiration, and I think we need more leadership figures in Scotland. Because if you look in England, London, there's a lot of them. I think young people in Scotland, there's a deficit of people to look up to.
Interesting. Actually, top tips on growing through YouTube. Because my blog and my Instagram is growing really fast just now, but I'm really struggling to get people to watch my YouTube videos.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. For me, so relatively new, some of the things that have worked for me are just like pure hustle. It's like scaling the unscalable stuff. So going onto other people's videos, commenting on them, reaching out to people that you've never met before seen. So for me, it's just been like pure hustle.
Yeah, pure hustle.
Yeah.
I think the two things I would say is, first of all, treat YouTube as any other social network, like Facebook. It's a social network platform, it's not just a video dumping platform. Second of all, consistency. You need a lot of content. Your videos will start to be found. You need a good head of content on YouTube, and then YouTube will start recommending you. And they look at a lot of different factors, but they look at, first of all, consistency. How often are you posting? Can you bring people back to your channel every week? They just like any other social network, they want people to stay on their platform. So they're going to promote people that they think people are engaging with and staying on their channel, watching video after video. Very important if you can get people to watch for your videos. In order for that to happen, you need a good head of content, and you need to post all the time, every week. And that's what I've learned. Consistency is absolutely key with YouTube. And by the way, Gavin's actually done really well this year. In 1 year, in less than a year, he's done really well. In my first year of YouTube, nobody watched. If you can break past that year of nobody watching, then you'll start to take off. That's important.
Yeah, people give up too early.
Yeah, people give up.
Sure.
But can we just say thank you so much?